Peace and beautiful blessings, family. Great rising on this Sunday morning. I have been in great thought and prayer this morning. Just thinking how we are more alike than we are different. Last night, I had the pleasure of watching my baby sis, Maya, get ordained as an evangelist at her church. And when I say the power of God moved in that place, I could not stop crying. And I was just in awe of it all because I remember when I was a church goer, when I started my Christian journey in the church, I was on fire for God, and I know that feeling of just wanting to please God. You want to be whatever you are called to be in the eyes of God. And the ordination ceremony was so incredibly powerful. I couldn't even contain myself for the most part because it was that deep. So very powerful. It was extremely powerful. And part of the ceremony, of course, was the washing of the feet. For most people, it was symbolic when Jesus washed his disciples' feet the day before he was crucified or whatnot. And that moment just, it was so powerful for me, for her to get her moment with God intimately and be deemed worthy to carry on the good work of the Lord, right? So I got to thinking and I've known this about myself from the beginning of time. I have always been one that if it resonates with me, it resonates with me. I can't deny it. I know what God has called me to be and do and have, right? I am a practitioner of omnism. I don't believe that there is one true religion. I believe there is truth in all. And what's for you is for you, and what is not, right? I don't judge people on their journey because there's no one, there is no one way to go, because if it was, we wouldn't have all these different spiritual practices and religions and gods and faiths that people truly believe and invest and have disciplines in. I believe that we are more connected, more the same than we are not. Just because I might not praise God like you do doesn't mean I don't believe, right? So people, and it's always this debate and it's always this struggle with people and whatever. And I just found it to be very strange. But last night I gained a comfort in my own belief that I'm good where I sit. you know? I think people need to learn how to be good in where they sit in God, because no one's path is going to be the same. Yes, I practice African spirituality practices. I use the tools of that: tarot, oracles, the sage, and the Florida water, and I wear the crystals and all those things. I do. I believe in those things. I believe in those things as a tool for me to connect and align with God, right? I also believe in some of the Bible also. We know there has been some translations that were, not so godly. But when you go through the Bible itself, you know what is God and what is not. If you are truly seeking God, you'll know, right? Just like I've read many of scriptural religious books. I've picked up on, like, most of my family were Jehovah Witnesses, right? Then there's Christianity. I had a fixation on Islam for a while. It was Hinduism, Buddhism. I've read about it all. I've taken what I've needed that resonated with my spirit and my soul, and I made it mine. So for a while, I felt like I had to choose one. I felt like if I didn't pick a side, it wasn't going to be right. But last night, in that moment when I'm watching my beloved sister ordination ceremony, that was her time, that was her moment. But in the midst of it, I got a reassurance that was so pure for me. It was so pure for me. And it was basically, we are all connected more than we are disconnected. We are more the same than we are different. And nothing that I am doing is contrary to the other, right? I profess with my mouth that I believe in God. I believe. So when you hear me pray, you hear me say, thank you, Father God, Mother Goddess, Son Jesus, ancestors, angels, guides, all those who love and protect me, known and unknown. Because the reality of it all, do we really know? I believe that when God created all of this and made us in the image of God, when I sit and think about that, I think about the family. How does life come to be? There is woman, there is man, there is child, right? That's what makes sense to me. That's what I believe. And I also believe in our ancestry, that we are all energy beings, right? We don't really die. We just transmute and we continue. What's that? Karma? Karmatic cycle? All that jazz, right? I believe that. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I believe in my ancestors. I believe that I can get through via um, using seers. There's people born with these gifts, and you're not going to tell me it's not connected. So I was doing some deeper research on the foot washing ceremony, and a lot of people think it's African based. I mean, Christian based. Yeah, it is based in Christianity, but it's also in African culture. It's part of our culture, guys. African spiritual culture. Um, I just read something about Christian hoodooism. It's part of, it's all connected. It's all connected. And I didn't mean to get on here and be long-winded, but I just want people to understand that how about we stop trying to find fault in someone else's path to God and try to focus on the connections that we have so we can live and lock arms and be better for each other. Because this world is going to shit right now. And we need each other more than ever before. So I took the liberty in pulling cards right before I got on, and it makes so much sense, the flow of it all. So the first card that came out is let go of resentment. Let go of that old hurt, that old system of thinking, that old bitterness, anything that's going to keep you from growing in faith, in life, in purpose. Let that shit go. Let it go. As long as you're holding on to it, God cannot give you anything because your hands are full still. Hence the picture. Let it go. Let it go. We've had this card before. Let it go. Acknowledge one resentful feeling you need to release. And keep in mind that all types of resentment are poison and harm in the healing process. Your goal to become mindful of your reasons for staying angry and to begin letting go of negative feelings by the end of the day. So, one of the things I want to do, I want to release the resentment I have for the church, because the last time I was in church, I was church hurt. Most of us were, because I think what we fail to realize, we're supposed to be focused on the message, not the messenger. Catch that one. Focus on the message and not the messenger, okay? Because it's about getting connected to God, people. We ain't putting these pastors and and stuff on pedestals. That's not their role. They are a vessel. And if they're not using and being of godly manner, you move around. Don't blame or get mad at the whole situation. Don't throw the whole don't throw the whole Christian out. No, we ain't doing that, because in reality there's truth there. There's foundations there. We need it. Some of it, we need some of that stuff. Because if I've never met a person who's been to church, a really God led church, that didn't come out feeling away, that's for a reason. Because we're connected more than we're not. Let go of that resentment, right? And then become better. Because when we let it go, we can move in our purpose, right? We can be better. What Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better, right? So discover one thing that would make you better and more empowered at what you do and who you are, and make it part of your routine. If this is difficult, identify why becoming better is something you wouldn't want to do. Your goal to recognize how and why you sabotage your empowerment. Come on, y'all. We got to let that resentment go. We got to let that church hurt go. And we find our path to God, whatever it looks like. Stand 10 toes down in it. Get connected, because if we are not connected, we are failing. We have to get a part of this thing. So whether you believe God is above you or inside of you, get with it. Nurture that. We need it. We got to let go of that hurtfulness so it can flourish, so we can cultivate our God self, so we can be better, right? And then last, it says, on whom am I placing blame right now? Let go of that resentment. We ain't pointing fingers today. We got to stop doing this. Listen, a person who blames others has not begun their lesson. A person who blames themselves has begun their lesson. A person who blames no one has finished their lesson. Talk to me, okay? Take responsibility on whom you are placing blame right now. Today, free yourself by releasing all victimhood, blame, and resistance. They they don't belong where you are going. Only love and courage live there. Make a choice to do it. Even if you don't feel ready. Listen to your heart. You will be led. Stop the blame game, bro. We can all be great. Sit with God. The God of your understanding. Sit with God and allow the God of your understanding, okay? It don't have to be what I believe. It could be what you believe. Allow God to help you release that resentment so you can move better and do better. So you can stop blaming and start doing. Stop blaming and start healing. Stop blaming and start connecting, right? Yeah, that's what it's about, guys. If not a time, if you didn't get anything else out of anything, get that part. It's time to start connecting and stop trying to figure out, what's the best way. The way to God is through whatever path He's taking, he, whoever is taking you through, right? Stand 10 toes down in your belief in God, whether above or inside. Connect with that so you can do what you have to do, so you can move in your divine purpose. Don't die with your gifts inside of you. Don't do that, because that shames God. And we ain't nobody want to shame God, right? So that's all I have for today. I did not do a message yesterday. I was resting on my Sabbath day, and then I went to church to see my sister be ordained, which was amazing. I'm still in awe of the beauty of that. So, and this message came through with pondering and praying upon that. Beautiful. Wouldn't we want God to wash our feet and deem us worthy of our mission? Come on now. It's a beautiful thing. We're more connected than we're disconnected. We're more alike than we're not. Stop trying to find fault in my faith. Find connection instead. All right? I love y'all. Namaste. Have a good day.